Now we're going to read Chapter 2 from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is Chapter 2. The next day I saw many sick people, but my mind was not on them. I was thinking about Edward Hyde. He was real, and so I had to make a place for him in the world. In the afternoon, I closed my office. I went out to the shops. I was looking for clothes in a small size, Edward Hyde's size. As I shopped, I wondered, why was Hyde so much smaller and younger than Jekyll? And why wasn't Hyde as strong as Jekyll? Then it came to me. Most of my life, I had been very good. I had not used my bad side much, so it was not as big or as strong as my good side. At the shops, I picked out fine clothes, evening clothes, for the night was to belong to Edward Hyde. When I came back home, I called Poole and Amanda, my maid, into the living room. "A man named Edward Hyde," I began, "will visit this house often. I have given him the door keys. He is free to come and go as he likes. Treat him well. Do all that he wishes. Do you understand?" "Yes, sir," they both said. As Poole left the room, I saw his face. He looked puzzled. I had always lived alone. He did not understand this change. That night, I asked my lawyer, Mr. Utterson, to visit me. Poole showed him into my sitting room. "Hello, Jekyll," said Utterson. "I am glad to see you. It has been a long time, you know. You are so busy with your work." "Yes, Utterson," I replied. "I have so much to do. Please, take a seat. I have asked you here to talk about my will." "Your will?" asked Utterson. "I believe it is in order." "Oh, there are some changes I want to make," I told Utterson. I handed him a sheet of paper. "Here is my new will." Utterson looked over the new will. "If you die," he said slowly as he read the paper, "you wish to leave everything to your friend Edward Hyde." He looked up at me. "But Jekyll, what can be the meaning of this? It also says here that if you are missing for 3 months, Edward Hyde is to get everything you own." "Yes, Utterson," I said. But this is madness," exclaimed Utterson. "Madness? Who is this Hyde? I have never even heard you speak of him before." "No, you have not," I answered. "He is a new friend, a very close friend, a young man who means a lot to me." "But Henry," said Utterson, "this is so sudden. Is there some problem? Is this Hyde making you change your will?" "Oh, not at all," I said. Utterson was quiet. Then he said, "As your lawyer, I cannot let you do this." "Oh, but you have to," I replied. "Very well," said Utterson. "I will take what you have written, and if something happens to you, I will see that your will is carried out. But I will never approve of such a thing." Utterson left quickly. I watched him go. He was a good friend and a good lawyer, too. Of course he was right. It was madness, a madness that excited me as nothing had ever done before. When Utterson was gone, I went to my lab. I got out the clothes I had bought that day, and then I made the drug. I swallowed every drop. The shaking came on me as before. It was horrible, horrible, but at last it stopped, and again I had turned into Edward Hyde. I wasted no time. I changed into my new clothes. I took my cane. Then I headed out the back door of the lab and into the street. Oh, how free I felt. I walked down the streets I had walked all my life. I saw people I knew well, but they had no idea who I was. The good doctor had been left behind. At a corner, I spotted a horse and carriage. Quickly, I climbed in. "Take me to Soho," I shouted to the driver, "and hurry up about it." "Yes, sir," answered the driver. He looked at me strangely. I saw that he had no liking for me. The carriage started rolling. Soho was a dark and dangerous part of London that I loved well. I had gone there before a few times as Henry Jekyll, but I was always afraid that someone would know me. But now that fear was gone. I was Edward Hyde, going out for a night on the town. The carriage stopped. "Here we are, sir," the driver said. "Soho." I jumped out of the carriage. I threw a few coins onto the ground and laughed. "You want your money? Then dig for it." And off I went into the night. What a time I had! I drank and drank. I got into fights. I could see in people's eyes that they were afraid of me. They backed off when I came near. This just excited me. I laughed in their scared faces. At last, places in Soho began to close. It was almost morning, but I was not ready to go to Jekyll's home, not yet. A sign on a street caught my eye. "Rooms for rent." I thought to myself, Hyde needs a home. Perhaps this might be the place. I rang the bell under the sign. An old woman popped her head out and asked, "What do you want?" she yelled. "The rooms," I called. "Let me see them." "At this hour?" she exclaimed. "Good people are still in their beds so early in the morning." "Now," I shouted, "and be quick about it." In a minute, the old woman came to the door. She looked me over, and then she said, "Yes, these rooms will do for the likes of you." She led me up the steps and opened a door. The rooms were small. The windows were dirty. But what did I care? I only wanted a place for Edward Hyde to sleep when he did not want to stay at Jekyll's home. "I'll take the rooms," I said. I gave the old woman the first month's rent. She grabbed the money. "Your name, sir?" she asked. "I don't ask much more of you than that." "The name is Hyde," I said. "Edward Hyde." I put the keys in my pocket. Then I turned and started back to Jekyll's house. It was morning now. London was waking up. Even though I had not slept, I wasn't tired. I felt good. I walked fast. I was thinking about the night I had just had. All of a sudden, a child came around the corner. We're going to stop here at this point, and we will continue with Chapter 2 in our next video.